Application compatibility. So you've just installed Windows XP. You install some of your favorite applications only to find that they won't run in Windows XP. Well, not all is lost. Thankfully, Windows XP offers a few methods to try to troubleshoot this problem. We're going to take a look at those methods in this video. There are 3 tools that you can use in Windows XP to try to get your applications up and running. Compatibility mode is a tool that's built right into the interface of Windows XP, whereas qfix app and compat admin are tools that are found in your Windows XP CD. Before we jump in and see how we use these tools, let's first talk about why applications may not run in Windows XP in the first place. We'll do that by bringing up another slide here. So you've got an application that ran just fine in Windows 98, but when you install it on Windows XP, the application just does not run. So we might think that the problem is with the operating system. Well, oftentimes it's really not the operating system that's the problem. It's the application trying to do things that the operating system won't allow. The number one reason why an application won't run in Windows XP or Windows 2000 is that an application might be hard-coded to see what type of Windows operating system it's running on. So for example, if you have an application that's written for Windows 98 and you start this application up, oftentimes what the application will do is ask, what version of the operating system am I running on? Is this Windows 98? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, the application will just shut down. But if the answer is yes, then the application will fire up. So when you install this application on Windows XP, the answer it gets back is, no, this is not Windows 98, so the application just shuts down. Thankfully, this is a very quick and easy fix to implement, and we'll see how we do that with our tools here. Another common problem is applications may fail to install if they encounter more than 2 gigabytes of free hard disk space in your hard drive, and this can be rectified quite easily. And lastly, you may encounter problems with applications that are predetermined to look for the user profile in the temp directory in a very specific location. For example, in Windows NT, the profile directory is located in the WinNT directory, whereas in Windows 2000, Windows XP, the profiles are located in the Documents and Settings directory. So applications that are written to place data for the user profile in the old directory will have problems with Windows 2000 and Windows XP. So these are some of the top reasons why applications may not be running well in Windows XP, and there's certainly other reasons as well, but most of the reasons boil down to a single point, and that is, in order to maintain a stable operating system, Microsoft has had to enforce certain programming rules in how resources are used. And some applications just aren't used to having these rules enforced. So when they encounter these rules, the applications break in strange ways. And thankfully, though, we have some methods to patch these applications so they won't break. To patch these problems, Windows XP includes a database called sys main.sdb. And this database includes close to 200 fixes in total. And how we apply the fixes are to use the applications that are on our previous whiteboard, such as qfix app. So qfix app is essentially a window into this database, and we use this application to apply the fixes that are found in the database to our applications that are currently not compatible with Windows XP. So let's see how we do that by first looking at this database and see where that's at. To view the database, click on Start, select My Computer, click that, double-click your C partition, find your Windows directory, double-click on that, and then within the Windows directory, we're looking for a directory called App Patch. Double-click on that directory, and then scroll down and locate your database, sys main.sdb. This database has 2 components to it. The first component is a listing of all the fixes, and then the second component is a listing of problems with existing applications and then how to fix those problems when Windows XP encounters those applications. And there's probably a listing of over 1,000 applications that Windows XP already has fixes for. So when you run those applications, what happens is Windows XP kind of intercepts that application has just started up and running and shoots it off to this database and some of the other files found in here to apply the fixes. So what we need to do now is use our tools to look into this database to actually apply those fixes, and our first tool can be found within the interface of Windows XP. Let's take a look at that. Let's just go up a couple of directories to find a sample application to work with, and we're going inside this demo app directory, and within here I've got a little application here called demo app. And let's say we're able to successfully install this, but whenever we double click on the icon to try to run the application, let me try this right now, trying to run it, and we encounter this error here saying the program requires Windows 95. Well, what we can do is use an interface option to basically lie to this application and tell it, hey, you know what, you really are running in Windows 95. Really? Yeah, sure. And you do that by right-clicking on the executable, choose Properties, and then within this dialog box, notice what we have right here, Compatibility tab. Click on that. This very first option, Compatibility Mode, allows us to apply a group of fixes to the selected application to basically make the application think that it's running in its previous operating system where the application ran well. And we do this by enabling Run this program in Compatibility Mode 4, and then choose the operating system from the drop-down arrow that the application was able to run successfully in. So let's say our application can run in Windows 95, but it can't run in Windows XP now. So we choose the application, enable this option, and in turn what's going to happen is the application will be pointed to the database we just looked at, and the database will apply a series of fixes to make the application think that it's running in this Windows 95 environment. So we're doing a little smoke and mirrors in the background here. Or we can apply some individual settings and just tell the application to run in 256 colors, low screen resolution, or disable the visual themes that are used as a default in Windows XP for this new user interface. These are good options to try to get some DOS applications up and running. You might want to try these options first, and if these options don't work, try the different compatibility modes. The only problem with using this compatibility tab to try to get the application up and running is it requires a lot of work. You would have to go to every single computer, enable this option for all your applications that need to run in the compatibility mode, and that takes a lot of time, and there's a better method. The easier method would be to automate the installation of these compatibility fixes to all Windows XP computers that need these fixes. And we can use our next applications, QFix App and Compact Admin, to help us with this task. So let's close out of here and take a look at those applications next. Those applications are not installed as a default, but they are located on your Windows XP CD. I've placed that CD into the computer, so let's take a look at it now by going up a couple of directory levels here. Find our XP CD, which is right here. We'll double click on it. And from here, click on Perform Additional Tasks. And then from this menu, click on Browse this CD. And locate the support directory and double click on that. Then locate the Tools directory and double click on that. And inside the Tools directory, we're locating a executable called act20.exe, which stands for the Application Compatibility Toolkit version 2.0. And it just takes probably a minute or two to install. I've previously installed this toolkit. Let's take a look at it now. We'll close out of here. We'll close out of here. So we access the applications from our All Programs. We do that by clicking on Start, All Programs, and then locate Application Compatibility Toolkit. And within the toolkit, click on QFix App. And this very first part of the dialog box is very similar to the compatibility tab that we just looked at, where we can apply what's called layers of fixes. So for example, if we chose the Windows 95 layer of fixes, we can see all the individual fixes that are included in that layer by clicking on the Fixes tab. And if you notice right here, there are 52 fixes that are included in the Windows 95 layer out of a total of 199. So if we were to scroll through this list of fixes, we should find that 52 of these options have been enabled here. And let's scroll back up here just for a second. We've got the Win95 version live fix, and when we click on any of these fixes, we get a little description of the fix. And in this instance, because we're applying this fix, the application will no longer think that it's running in Windows XP. We're going to, behind the scenes, tell that application that the version of the operating system that you're running on is Windows 95 because this option has been enabled here. So a little smoke and mirrors here. So how you actually use QFix app to apply these fixes is first to get the application that's causing application compatibility problems, and you do that by clicking on the Browse button in the top right hand corner. So you're going to find that problem child, such as Demo App. Once you've found that application, you're going to click on the Layers tab and first try to see if a layer of fixes, this grouping of fixes, will get your application up and running. And we're going to test to see whether or not a layer of fixes will work with the selected application by clicking on the Run button. And so in this instance, we'll see if the Windows 95 version error goes away, and indeed it does. So let's close out of here. We know that that layer of fixes will get this application up and running here. So if we still encounter errors after applying a layer of fixes, the next step would be to apply fixes individually based on the error that you're receiving from the application. So you'd write down the error and then go through the fixes, look at the description of the fix, and try to match the description with the error that you're receiving. And this is really just trial and error. Just going through this list of 200 items here and seeing if you can get a good match to get that application up and running. Once you've found the correct combination of individual fixes that allow your application to run in Windows XP, you then need to bundle those fixes together in your own custom application compatibility database for the selected application. And you do that by clicking on the Advanced button in the bottom right hand corner. So let's do that now. Once you've created the custom database, each time you start up the application that is having problems, it will reference the database and then apply the fixes within the database, and then the application will get up and running. In contrast, when we ran our application by using the Run button within QFix app, that's just a temporary fix for testing purposes. So you need the database of fixes to permanently fix the application so it can run in Windows XP. To create the custom database, you just need to click on the button, and that button is right down here called Create Fix Support. So let's click on that right now. It's saying we've created your custom database. It's called demoapp.sdb, and would you like to install this fix right now? So you've created the database, but now in order for the database to actually work each time you run the application, it has to be registered, or what's called installed. Would you like to do this? Sure, yes or no. We'll click on yes. And it's been successfully installed. Thank you very much. The custom database is stored in an XML file format, and you can see that just by clicking on the Show XML in the bottom right hand corner. And so if we bring this over a little bit here, each of the individual fixes are referred to as shims. So we should have 52 plus shims to fix our test application demoapp.exe, but this is our custom database that we've just created and installed. And here's a little tip for you as well. If the application that you're trying to fix has a very common name, such as setup.exe, you need to differentiate one setup.exe from another setup.exe. The reason why we have to do this is that your custom database that you create would apply to every single file called setup.exe. So if you only have one setup.exe application that won't run, and you get it to run by using your custom database, you can tell Windows XP to only run this specific setup.exe by adding matching file information, which differentiates your setup.exe from other setup.exes. So let's click on this button here, and the matching files can be anything. They can be help files, they can be dynamic link libraries, whatever the case may be. But these files that you add in will help to differentiate your program from other programs. So now when the application started up, Windows XP will look to see, oh, okay, is this application that I'm trying to apply these fixes to have these little matching files, yes or no? And if it has the matching files, then Windows XP will proceed to apply the fixes to that application, in this case the setup.exe. We can differentiate our product even a little further by choosing these individual attributes that are related to the application that we had selected using the Browse button. So all these options appear once you select your application. So for example, we can choose the file version to individualize our product from other products, and other items here that you think would be helpful as well. So if you're building applications internally and you want to differentiate one build number for another build number, you can choose the options that relate to that within here. And after you've chosen your matching files and selecting the individual attributes, then you would actually click on the Create Fix Support button to create your custom database. So that's the 1, 2, 3s of using QFix app to get your applications compatible with Windows XP. However, QFix app has a pretty severe limitation, and that is it can only create a single custom database file and you can't change the name of it. And this means that you can only provide compatibility fixes for one application on a single Windows XP computer using QFix app. So you're primarily using QFix app for testing purposes to see which fixes actually get the application up and running. Once you've found those fixes, we then go to another application called compatibility.avi, where we can create a custom database for multiple applications and then deploy that database out into our environment to get our users to get that custom database installed. So let's take a look at our next tool, compatibility.avi. So let's close out of here, and let's just close out of here. We find compatibility.avi also in our compatibility toolkit, so let's click on Start, choose All Programs, and let's go to our toolkit and fire up compatibility.avi, which is the short name for the Compatibility Administration Tool. Let's fire that puppy up, and it's looking to the SYS main database, and here we go. The functionality of compatibility.avi is almost identical to QFix app. It's an interface which is a window into SYS main to allow us to apply our compatibility fixes or compatibility layers. But additionally, we also see from compatibility.avi that our database contains fixes for existing applications, critical applications such as 102 Dalmatians puppies to the rescues. So if we select this application, on the right hand side we see that this database contains specific fixes to allow this particular application to run in Windows XP. So this is a handy feature right out of the box. Windows XP already supports a lot of games and other applications that you see in this list as we're scrolling through this. And this database gets updated regularly by Microsoft, and we can download the updates by using a Windows Update or the auto update feature, which we'll be talking about in later videos in this series. When you open compatibility.avi, you're already working within a custom database. If you notice on the left hand side, the database that we're already working in is called untitled.sdb. The task that we have here is to add in application fixes to untitled.sdb, and then when we've completed this task, we'll go up to the menu bar and choose File, Save As. We're going to save this database with a specific name. Our first step, though, is to create the application fixes within this database, and we do that by clicking on Database, choose Create Application Fix. That fires up a little wizard where we can apply a compatibility mode to our application or the individual fixes. Let's start with compatibility mode. Click on Next. What would you like to call this fix? Let's call it Demo App, one that's related to the application we're working with. Then we'll click on Next. Where is the application that you'd like to fix? We'll click on Browse, find that application, and which compatibility mode would you like to apply to this application? We're going to choose Windows 95, then click on Next. And this dialog box allows us to add any matching files. So you click on Add File, choose any matching files that might be needed here. And then we click on Next. And would we like to perform a test run? We already did that with QFix app, so we're going to click on Finish. And so if you notice now in untitled.sdb we have an application fix for demo app, and if we click on that, on the right hand side we see the application fix that's being applied through the compatibility mode. So you keep going through the process of creating application fixes within this database to get all the fixes that you need for the applications in your environment that are having problems with Windows XP. So we'd keep going back up to the menu bar, choose Database, choose Create Application Fix. This time let's take a look at compatibility. Click on Next. What's the name of the application? Click on Next. Where is that application? Here's that bad boy that's causing us problems. Click on Next. And then go through the list and select the individual compatibility fixes that you know get the application up and running because you had previously tested these fixes using QFix app. And I'm just going through here and randomly picking things for the demonstration. Then click on Next. Would you like to add any matching files to differentiate this application from other applications called badapp.32.exe? Do you want to test this? And then click on Finish. So now in our custom database we've got two fixes, demo app and test app. So if we click on test app, we see the individual fixes that I had selected. So the next step would be to save all these fixes in our custom database. So we choose File, Save As, place these files in a specific location, maybe a network SharePoint. We'll just save it to our local computer right now. Click on Desktop, give it a name. We'll just call this Test, and then click on Save. But if you notice the difference between Compact Admin and QFix app, and QFix app, when we clicked on the Create Fix Application button, it automatically created the database, that single database, but it also installed the fixes as well. That's one thing that Compact Admin will not automatically do, and that is to install the fixes that we've created for our demo app and our test app. That's the next step that you would have to perform. The custom database is installed by using an executable that's installed in Windows XP, and let's bring up a little whiteboard here to take a look at that. The executable is called sdb-inst, or basically short for installer.exe, and it's found in Windows System 32. So let's take a look at that now. Let's just minimize this. Let's go to My Computer, so we'll click on Start, click on My Computer, double click on our C partition. Let's scroll down, find our Windows directory, double click on Windows, and let's scroll down and find System 32. Here it is. This is all sorted alphabetically, so our installer should be down here toward the bottom, and here it is, sdb-inst.exe. This application is run from the command prompt, and then we have to enter the file path to our custom database. So let's do that now. We open up a command prompt by clicking on Start, choose Run, type in cmd to fire up a command prompt. From our command prompt window, we type in sdb-inst.exe, and then the file path to your custom database. Our database is located on the desktop. Let me show you a little trick here. We're going to save a little bit of typing time. I'm going to right click on the taskbar, show the desktop. I'm going to select this custom database, drag it on top of our command prompt, drop it in. Ooh, ah, the crowd goes mild. Hey, it saves some typing time. Come on, that's a long file path. We're going to press our Enter key. Installation is complete. So if we click on OK, we'll go into our App Patch folder now and see if our fix has been installed. QFix app and SDB installer will automatically place the compatibility fixes within our App Patch folder that we took a look at earlier. And let's minimize down our taskbar. So let's bring up System32. We'll go up one directory, go into App Patch. We went in this folder earlier and we took a look at the SYS main database, but we've got a new folder in here called Custom, and this was created when we ran QFix app and installed our custom database. So if we double click on the folder, this first application fix is for the demo app that we had created the fix for using QFix app, and then this bottom database, this bottom application fix, is the result of running SDB inst for our test database that we had created using compactadmin. In our example, when we ran the SDB installer, that just applied the fixes to this computer, and our end goal is to apply the fixes to all Windows XP computers that need these fixes. So there are a couple methods to do this. We could walk around to every single Windows XP computer and manually install these fixes, one computer at a time, and grow old doing that. Or an easier method is to create a logon script that runs the SDB installer to automatically apply these fixes whenever a user logs on to their computer. So in recap, we've got several methods for fixing our applications. Let's just bring up our whiteboard again for a second. We can fix our applications individually by using the compatibility mode option found within the Windows XP user interface, or we can bundle these fixes up and deploy them out to all of our Windows computers, Windows XP computers, by using QFix app to test which fixes will correct the problem, and then bundle those fixes together using compactadmin, and then use a logon script to install those compatibility fixes to all of our Windows XP computers. And that, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to the end of this video, and I hope this video has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.